Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the It's All About Sports Broadcasting Network. Coming to you from the Sun National Bank Center, it's the Tournament of Champion Finals. And tonight, before a capacity crowd of, I want to say, at least 7,000 or 8,000, we will have the first of two exciting matchups as the girls' TOC Finals will begin in group play as the Group 4 champion Franklin Warriors take on the Group 2 champion Manasquan. And what a matchup that is going to be. And tonight, Franklin is trying to make history. In fact, that seems to be the theme here on the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network. One team is trying to rewrite history, and the other trying to make history. Franklin having a stellar season, 24-7, knocked off the #1 seed in the TOC Finals, the Rutgers Prep yesterday. Diamond Miller is leading the team with 15 points a game, and on the other side, for this Group 2 team, as we look again at our brackets, as the Group 2 Shore Conference, or should say team known as Manasquan, team that plays in the Shore Conference. Well, they are in their 5th TOC Finals appearance in the last 6 years, and they're looking to try to make it TOC Championship #4. They're led by Dara Mabry, the talented junior. She's averaging 19.9 a game. But the big story has to be at the 8:15 tip-off, when the Don Bosco Prep Ironmen, their Cinderella season continues. 21 consecutive wins as they have waltzed their way into the TOC Finals for the first time in school history. This once proud football institution has continued to pave the way now for the basketball, as Ronald Harper Jr. and Marcellus Earlington could be the keys as the newly ranked Don Bosco Prep Ironmen, ranked in the top 25 in America, will take on the #6 team in America and the #1 team in the state of New Jersey, the Patrick School. That's all at 8:15. We're moments away from tip-off. It's Franklin and Manasquan, with Franklin trying to make history in the TOC Finals.
Do you need coverage? Not that kind of coverage. More like this kind of coverage. If you need coverage, call 215-559-7300. National Video Productions has you covered. Need a promo? Hosting a live event? Celebrating a special occasion? The National Video Productions has you covered. No, not that kind of covered. More like this kind of covered. And this kind of covered. Get live coverage and live stream that live event. If you need coverage, call 215-559-7300. National Video Productions has you covered. Weddings, corporate events, sporting events, graduations, grand opening, concerts, car shows, fundraisers, dance recitals, and more. If you need coverage, call 215-559-7300. National Video Productions has you covered.
Well, it's halftime here at the Sun National Bank Center, as Manasquan, looking for yet another TOC Finals, leads Franklin 28-23. The totals right now so far, Franklin has been led tonight by their leading scorer Diamond Miller, with a 12-point performance for the defending Group 4 champions. And for the Group 2 champion Manasquan, they are led tonight, and there's certainly a lot to talk about Stella, which is one of the reasons why Stella, which would be Winter Storm Stella, which forced games to be moved yesterday, that the only game being played is scheduled. Stella Clark leading the Manasquan Shore Conference team with a 13-point performance. If Manasquan goes on to win, it would be 4 NJSIA Tournament of Champions. Franklin looking to make it their first in team history and in school history. Coming up at the top of the hour, we will have the #6 team in the nation, the Patrick School Celtics. They'll take on the new #22 ranked Don Bosco Prep Ironmen, who I spoke with Kevin DeVario during the first quarter of tonight's women's matchup, and all he said really was one simple word: shocked, of how this team is going to be. Well, they'll need certainly a little bit of shock if they want to get themselves their first ever TOC Finals in school history. Our theme again on It's All About Sports Broadcast Network tonight is rewrite or make history. We'll find out more about that here in the second half. Franklin and Manasquan second half coverage is up next here at the Sun National Bank Center, Trenton, New Jersey. Jacob.
Jacob?
They're a great group. They're great leaders. They're great people. We will miss them, terribly moving forward. So that's why I'm sad. I love these girls. And this senior class has been
Check 1, 2.
Just a great group.
Do you think it was just as simple as missing shots? I mean, both teams had some turnovers and stretches like that. Was it just simple, like they made a couple that you guys did?
As well as we had in the past in other games. Again, that's a testament, to the defense that they played, and the things that they gave us, and again, it's a big game, it's a big arena, that takes some adjustment, but again, they were able to get us to take certain looks, and unfortunately the ball wasn't falling for us, and that's
Lisa, what do you think Franklin did so good in the second quarter? You guys seem to have them really where you want to with 10-point lead after 1 and 8. They really regrouped in the second. What did they do so well?
Yeah, they adjusted, and like I said, they're in a game of this caliber. You don't expect a lead to stay too long. And they did a great job of adjusting and starting to take away some of that transition stuff. And they were able to defend us in the half court, pretty well. And again, you look forward to this game. It's going to be a great game. And we saw some great competition.
Were you surprised with how much you guys limited their ability to run? I mean, that's basically how they got there. They were able to run for it. You guys totally limited that for most of this game.
Yeah, I think our girls definitely focused on that. It took a big adjustment from last night. When I said last night, our game plan may literally be the opposite of what we did last night, and it was. And that shows the maturity in our players. And our girls to be able to do that on the fly without really having to practice to go through it all. But that's their heart, that's their determination, of sprinting back and wanting to kind of stop that as best as we could, because we knew that that's something that we needed to do to put ourselves in a position to win.
Your leader today, Stella Clark, had 17 points, and your leading scorer is Dara, who had 15. Can you just talk about the performance that they put on today, especially Stella, because it did kind of seem like in the first half just everything just like fell in and just kind of fell in place.
Yeah, I think that's been one of our strengths, throughout this whole season is we have 5 girls on the court who can put the ball in the basket. So Stella obviously is a great player in that, and we did a great job of finding her in transition. She's always releasing down the court, but those types of things don't happen, without the effort of the girls on the defensive end, and that goes for all of them, including Stella, of getting those rebounds, of battling for those loose balls. It's unfortunate that the last one, we weren't able to grab, and get 4 more minutes of a great game in overtime, but that's kind of the way it fell.
Lisa, the way you lost is heartbreaking, but the defense, to force Dino to take a 3 from there, and that's the last shot. I mean, you had to be thrilled with the way you guys defended those last 10 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of dug down, and like I said, we got her to take a shot. When you're facing a talented player like that, you got to give something up. And a deep contested 3 is what we'll take. And again, unfortunately, we just the ball bounced in a way that we couldn't handle.
You said earlier in the year that you guys thrived in the long ball. Do you feel like the position being in favor, having started on your back layer, did that weigh down on you guys throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, I think we play with a chip on our shoulder when we are the underdog, but I think that we embrace competition. It doesn't matter at this point, you're going to face great teams and great, and know that you're going to see a good game.
To all 5 of the starters, and again, feel free to chime in. What did you learn about, this season? What, and now moving forward? For anybody, by the way.
We're a family. We win and lose as a team. We're a family family.
good.
I'll stand. I'll stand. Is that all right if I stand?
She just said,
You sit, I'll stand.
Start with Kennedy. Take us through the sequence. You know what you see, and you know what went down. You saw a diamond shot. You rebound. You kind of came to you. You picked up your turnaround. What was kind of going through your mind as you let that shot go?
What was going through my mind is that I had to turn around and make a smart decision, either shoot or pass. And I didn't see nobody there, so I decided to shoot. And when it went off my hand, I knew it was going in.
Did you know how much time was left?
I heard Carl off the bench say shoot it, so I took it down and shot.
Audrey, 7 years in the making. Is this worth the wait for you and your team?
Oh, God, yes. Well worth the wait. This has been an amazing journey with an amazing group. One, you guys know how young they are. So we had our ups and downs. We went through a lot to realize that we were a very, very strong team when we played together. Once they came to that realization, it's been an amazing experience, an amazing run. So it's awesome. Awesome. Very proud of these girls. Very, very proud.
Audrey, the way you guys have been playing, I'm sure you guys aren't surprised you won, but are you surprised with the way you won? Because for the last couple weeks you've been running out and really pushing the pace, and today it wasn't like that at all. I mean, it turned into kind of a slugfest and a low-scoring game, and you guys still managed to find a way.
I am surprised, actually. I knew coming in against a great team like Manasquan that it was going to be a battle. Their speed, their energy, how they rebound, all of it was going to be a battle. So I knew it wasn't going to be a blowout. I knew we were going to have to come in here, we were going to have to value our possessions, and we were going to have to win it the old-fashioned way. You know, one shot at a time, one rebound at a time, one pass at a time. We had to do it the fundamental way, and the girls stuck through it and pulled it out.
Can you walk us through the last sequence? I mean, what were you drawing up in the timeout? And, you know, did it go according to plan?
Almost. One, we wanted to wait till about 8 seconds. We wanted to make sure we had the last shot. We wanted the ball in Diamond's hands. Based on that, I told Camille to come and set a screen and make sure she rolled to the basket to be there for a rebound. And Diamond was just going to have to make a decision. She was either going to go to the basket or she was going to take the shot, but everybody had to be there available for that rebound. And she took the long shot, and thank God we got the rebound and put it back up. Kennedy was like, these freshmen, first of all, I don't know if you guys think about freshmen, but have you ever seen freshmen with the nerves that these girls have? They don't carry any nerves whatsoever. It's amazing to me. So for her to do that and to turn around after everybody literally screaming everything we had, shoot. And she turned around and she did just that, which was like, once it left her hand, we knew it was good.
Diamond, kind of go through that last sequence from your perspective. You know, you take the shot. You know, did you know right away it was a little off?
Yes. I think it was Dira. I felt her hit my hand, but I knew it was the last shot. They're not gonna call a foul there, but I thought it was good. I mean, if you see the shot, it was like close to the rim.
And then you see, you know, you're rolling towards Kenny. You know, what were you thinking then?
I was like, shoot, just shoot. And even if she missed overtime, and I believe in my team that we were going to win overtime as well. So, yeah, it just happened to win. That we went over.
Kennedy, what was your reaction when you took the shot? Did you know it just knew the second it left your hands it was going in?
No, but I had a strong feeling that it was going at the same time. But when it did go in, I was like very excited.
Of course.
Right. Audrey, you guys were down 10-point goal after the first quarter. I mean, what wasn't clicking for you guys over those first 8 minutes, and what went well for you guys over the next 8 minutes to kind of rally and get back in there?
I think overall we started out with a little bit of nerves. Once we settled in, and a constant reminder from myself and the rest of the coaching staff that we got here as a team with moving the ball, you know, everybody touching it, everybody believing that the next person is going to make the right decision. Once we got into the flow of that and rebounding the ball, because that was another thing that hurt us, we started to settle in, and I started to could see in their faces that they were believing.
Do you feel like this team kind of, kind of matured as this game went along? As you mentioned, there were nerves early. I mean, you can see it in some of the unforced turnovers and some of the things like that. But by the end, I mean, the nerves of steel were out, and that's kind of what helped you guys close it out. Do you feel like, I mean, it's been a maturity process throughout this whole season, but like it almost took like a quantum leap there in the last half of this game anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, I saw it in their body expressions. I saw it in their faces. Our energy picked up. It always takes us to get a few possessions to go our way, and then we start to believe, okay, like this is working out. But yeah, absolutely.
Iman, what was the difference in the first and second quarter for you when you went off there in the second quarter?
Making shots, like Coach Taylor said. Once things start going our way, we tend to believe that we're like the best team, and now we are the best team in the state. So, so once we start believing, we just keep going and going, and yeah.
Hey Mo, we talked about this a little bit the other day. You know what it's like not to get to this game. You were on that team 2 years ago that went out in the semifinal. How do you explain this? I mean, how does this team do with that senior-laden club that we do?
Honestly, right now, I'm really speechless. I knew that we worked so hard to get here, and I knew that this was something that we really wanted. So really, at the end of the day, we just had to put our minds to it like we did, so we could get the win that we did.
Coach, what do you think, I guess, back to when we talked earlier during the season at Roselle Catholic against St. Rose, and now kind of just being in a situation like this, and what has this been like, I guess, really for the last few months? I mean, has this been like kind of like a roller coaster ride, I guess, on your end? Is that kind of what it seems like for you by that expression?
I would absolutely say it was a roller coaster ride. We had like I said, we had our ups and downs, but it was well worth it. Towards the end, once these girls really started playing as a team and believing in each other. And another thing that's special about this group, they're family. They really care for one another, and they want to see each other succeed. And a lot of coaches don't understand this, is when you have a family that goes out and plays for one another and battles for one another, it makes your coaching job a lot easier, 10 times easier. So, like I said earlier, I'm so proud of these young ladies. They deserved it. They worked hard. They did a lot of running. It's a lot of practicing.
I was gonna say, you seem like the type of person that does that a lot during practice.
They put in a lot of work, and honestly, to get this at the end is awesome.
You've really, I guess, gone down on this team, making them run sprints during practice. You just seem like that. Talk about how, with one senior really now being out, congratulations, by the way, to you, Monique Davis-Campbell. Obviously worth the wait for you after the last 4 years. What is in preparations for next year? Because you really have most of these girls coming back for next season.
One step at a time, like we did this season. I'm a person that lives in the moment. I really don't go too far ahead of myself. I do realize that there's a great group coming back, but we're going to do it just like we did it before. We're going to come in, we're going to see what we got, we're going to figure it out. We're going to go out and battle all the strong teams in the state, and one step at a time. One step at a time.
Man, Swan gave you guys a lot of credit for the way they shot the ball today. Just kind of take me through defensively what you guys want to do against them, particularly against Dara, who was 6 for 24 or whatever she was today. How did you guys thought you bothered them?
Well, one, our game plan from every team that we played throughout this whole state tournament was to not leave a shot open. Make sure you contest a shot. It's hard to make a shot when the hand's in your face compared to being wide open. So that was really our goal, to make sure of that. They got a few open shots here and there. Lucky for us, they didn't necessarily drop. But defensively, it was about trying to switch up some things so that they didn't get set and be able to constantly know what they were running and continue that flow. So that's why we were switching up the defenses, just to kind of change things up and make other people shoot shots.
Who certainly made all the dreams of the Somerset School come true. Kennedy Shank, congratulations. 7 points, absolutely worth the wait on your end.
Yes, I'm very excited.
I can imagine. You look very excited.
Yes.
Talk about that last in-game, the last play of the game. Again, Diamond Miller, who's your leading scorer, takes as expected. And if anybody's going to take the final shot, it's going to be her. It goes off the mark. You get the rebound, and you stop, pause, and then take that shot. What was that first reaction?
I was First, I was nervous because I didn't know. It seemed a little off to me. And then when I saw it and it went in, I was like very excited.
I could only imagine. Diamond Miller with the leading scorer of the night with 18 points. Your thoughts on her tonight?
I think she did very good. Like, she made us make plays and get boards.
You've come a long way, as has your school. Not only the first state championship in school history, the first TOC title. What does this mean for the people in Somerset?
I think they're going to be very happy because it's like our first time in history.
Yeah, I think they're going to be thrilled, don't you?
Yeah.
I would absolutely hope so. Kennedy Shank, I know you're probably lost for words. Thank you so much for being here on It's All About Sports Network. Congratulations, and go celebrate with your team.
Thank you.
Kennedy Shank again joining us here on another edition of the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network, and congratulations to seventh-year coach Audrey Taylor, school's first state, and now the school's first TOC title. Back to the floor again, we'll go for the boys edition of the TOC Finals. The Patrick School, number 6 in America, and the top team in the state. They'll take on the new nationally ranked 22nd team, Don Bosco Prep Ironman. They're coming up next here at the Sun National Bank Center in Trenton, New Jersey. Back here again in the press room of the Sun National Bank Center here in Trenton, New Jersey, with the the team's league scorer, Miss Diamond Miller. She scored 18 tonight, normal from her 15 points she averages a game. Diamond, congratulations. What is the feeling like going through your mind?
Oh my God, I'm speechless.
Yes, of course.
Oh my God, that's the word. I'm speechless. Our town has wanted this for a long time. We're the first in history to ever do this, so this means a lot more than just this team. This is the whole. I know. I can understand that completely. Let's take you through that last seconds of the game. Of course, you're taking the final shot. It goes off the mark. What is the first reaction for Kennedy Shank's shot? Shoot.
You thought it was good, though.
Yeah, I knew it was good right when it left her hands because she shoots that shot all the time, to believe it or not. It was just a normal shot, but it just happened to be the game was on the line, you know?
What's the credit you give to a school like Manasquan, a team that's had a lot of good history, I believe was looking to make it TOC title in 6 years. What happened down by 10? How did you manage to make this run?
We made shots, and we started playing defense and getting rebounds. They were beating us on the board in the first quarter and out-hustling us. And then we were just like, we can't go down without a fight. And we started making shots and rebounding, hustling for the ball, and playing our game.
Next year, it's the ball seems like it's back in your court. Most of your team is back, though you will say goodbye to senior Monique Davis-Campbell. What's the thing she brought to the team this season?
The paint. She's really good in the paint. Nobody could really guard her in the paint, and she's a big, and we're going to miss her, but we don't feel bad, and she's happy to go. It's bittersweet, you know. Yes. So,
I can only imagine this is definitely got to be the same way for her as it is for you. Once again, Diamond Miller, thank you so much for joining us again here on the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network, and we will hopefully catch up with you.
Hey, thank you.
Go celebrate with your team. You deserve it. Diamond Miller again joining us for another edition of the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network here in the Sun National Bank Center press room. This is Jacob Schwartz again. We'll head back again to the arena where the Patrick School will take on Don Bosco Prep in the men's edition. We now know Franklin is the first team to punch their ticket and win a TOC Finals. Ready? Well, it is all she wrote here at the Tournament of Champions here at the Sun National Bank Center in Trenton, New Jersey. Jacob Schwartz for the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network. And the final score, the Patrick School have claimed another TOC championship. They have knocked off the non-public A Don Bosco Prep Ironman. And as a lot of New Jersey media outlets were saying, this year was TOC or bust. Well, I think they've proved those critics right as the TOC champions and non-public B state champions, the Patrick School Celtics, giving head co-coaches Mike Rice and Chris Chavez its first state and Tournament of Champion finals. As for the Don Bosco Prep Ironmen, their 21-game winning streak has finally come to an end. They lose only their second game of the season, their first loss back in early December against their long Bergen County rival, Bergen Catholic. And tonight, Don Bosco was led by Chris Paul, one of 3 players in double figures with 19 points. Jordan Walker is our It's All About Sports Broadcast Network player of the game. He takes home 17 points. And moments from now, we will go to the podium and we will listen in again on Don Bosco, and it looks like it is Don Bosco who is headed to the podium, along with 22-year head coach Kevin DeVario. So let's listen in again. Don Bosco Prep, non-public A champions, and they're taken to the podium. Kevin, we were with you really from the start, probably about December till about the end of today. Can you describe what this feeling meant for what it's worth with this season? Has this been a great year for Don Bosco Prep?
I got to imagine it's the best in school history. League title, county title, state title, get to the tournament championship game. I can't say enough about the team and the seniors and what they've accomplished, how they've come together as a unit, how much they care about each other, love each other, and that's what it's been about all year.
Your evaluation of the game tonight?
Yeah, listen, we're playing a phenomenal team, with 5, 6, 7 Division I players, and we went toe-to-toe with them for almost 4 full quarters. We never gave up. We battled to the end, and that's all we ask of our kids. They did everything they could in this game.
Marcellus, we spoke earlier tonight. You're transitioning your way from football to basketball. You have at least 5, 6 D1 offers. What has been the best part playing in the fall season to now in the winter season, where you have competed against some of the best high school players in the country, like the Patrick School?
It's been great playing for a beautiful program with Don Bosco. I was fortunate enough to come here, fortunate to be coached by Devo and Coach Toe, and this has been great all year. I'm very grateful for all the opportunities I had and everything. And I love my school. I love the program. I love the football and basketball program. It's been fun to compete, and I love every single one of my teammates for both sports. And it's sad that we lost this way, but we worked hard, and the seniors were captains this year. Everybody was locked in this year. We had one goal. We achieved it. This one came up short, but we played hard. This loss doesn't take away how hard we worked. Yeah.
What was it like? I know, again, I can understand how hard it's for you. What was it like going up against a tough big man like Nick Richards?
Yeah, great player.
That's all.
Coach, how difficult was it to prepare for this team with no essential practice time?
It was, at this point, 31 games in, nothing's new. We knew what we had to do coming in. We knew the challenge that we were facing. Trying to match up with their bigs, and not to mention their guards. We knew we had a challenge ahead of us. And I tell you what, I was so proud of what we did on the floor today and how much fight we had in us. I can't say anything more.
Kevin, how about the job that Chris did? He obviously missed a lot of time with the fouls. In the third quarter, drawing contact, getting the foul line, stopping the clock.
Chris has been great all year. Senior, he left it on the floor today in the second half. He gave everything he had. The emotions at the end of the game, the emotions right now, it's because of what they put forward in this game.
What was the match? Talk about the matchup that your kids had with a quick player like Jordan Walker, because he really in the second half it seemed like he was kind of taking over.
Yeah, it's tough. You got to pick your poison, and you help off Richard so he throws the lob. We had tough matchups everywhere. we did the best to our ability.
Yeah.
You know, I take nothing away from our kids. We didn't back down. We didn't, you know, they're a phenomenal team. You know, so to say, you know, that we're going to come every day and play as hard as we can and do what we can to win the game. You know, and our hats go off to the Patrick School. You know, phenomenal players, phenomenal team who execute at both ends of the floor. You know, it's tough.
You switch your defense up on the fly to slow down Linden. Similar strategy tonight for 3.5 quarters was really working. What does it say about your team that you're able to, you know, implement a completely new defense in, you know, a week and slow down two of the best teams?
I mean, Linden, their basketball IQ is great. Their ability to, you know, put a game plan in. I think we talked about the Linden defensive game plan for 15 minutes. You know, and they came out and executed it. Today, they did what we asked them to do. You know, they did. They executed what we asked them to do. We just came up on the short end.
What about Nick Richards, as much as you did? He's been terrorizing the entire state. You know, that really gave you a chance in this game. What was the game plan against him, and how did you guys execute that?
The goal was to establish position, try to keep him off the block or as far away from the basket as possible. And then make him finish over us and just put a body on him and keep him off the glass.
Ron, talk about what it's like playing on a national stage like this against a top-type program like the Patrick School. And for what it's worth, even though you came up a little short, how excited are you that you're going to have guys like Marcellus and many of these players back for next season?
I'm really excited because this year we did the unthinkable. We were always the underdog, like I said last night. No one expected us to get this far, and we came out every day and we competed. No matter what was the name on the chest, we never backed down. And everybody sitting over there, you shouldn't have your heads down. You should have your heads up because we did the unthinkable and we had a great season. And don't let one loss take it away from you.
Ronald, you said last night you wanted to prove that Don Bosco wasn't just a football school. Going up against one of the most storied high school basketball programs in the state, and you were right there with them. What does this season say about this program and the school in general?
It shows them that we're a winning program, that we're here to compete every single day, and we're here to win. And it shows them that we're not just a football school, that we have basketball, and we showed them this year that we can do what everybody else can do in the state.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Well, a very tough reaction again from the Don Bosco Prep Ironmen again as their season comes to an end as they fall again 69-55 to the Patrick School. And in a few moments, we are going to. It looks like right now we are going to go straight to back to the podium with a new Tournament of Champions, the Patrick School, certainly rewriting their history. And when you think about the talent of players like Kyrie Irving and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Dexter Strickland, and Al Harrington, and more, well, I guess you could say history certainly has repeated itself, and I guess a new history here in this legendary school. Let's listen in live to co-coaches Mike Rice and Chris Shavanis at the Patrick School. Can't help it, Mike. Chris, you've come a long way, many years as an assistant under Coach Kevin Boyle. Talk about what this means to kind of continue this winning tradition here at the Patrick School.
Well, firstly, we've come along.
Yes, you have.
That was me.
That's true.
It's been a process of everything. Parents, alumni, tremendous supporters, David Lippman, Keith Bidoff. I can go on and on and on. There's a lot of people in this room. It goes well beyond that, and it's a weed factor. So it's a tremendous. I'm happy, not so much for myself, but for everyone, because it has been a nice, process to get to this point. So I'm elated for everyone.
Pat, talented teams for the past 2 years, coming up short. After you won the title against Hudson Catholic, you made it clear you guys weren't done. How gratifying is it, not just with everything you've gone through off the court, but on the court as well, to finally take home this gold ball?
It's very gratifying. We've never had the opportunity, from when they closed the original school downtown, that process was so fast that we didn't get a chance to breathe or any of those things. And it's always been move on, move on, move on. So in some ways, they kind of prepare us for the future. So whether it was, being suspended from the state tournament a couple years ago to whatever, we never dwelled on it, we just moved on. We accepted and moved on because that's how it's been for us. And, there's no sour grapes for anyone. Just moving forward. So I'm very, very happy, again, for Jameer Marcus and for their parents and their families who stuck with us. When those guys started off in our school, we built the interior building and, we didn't even have doorknobs. And they were there, and they watched us grow from not having doorknobs to having a building that is a school that gives them student life like other schools. So I'm very, very happy about that. For everyone, but in particular those two guys and their families for supporting our school and state games.
What does it mean to have a guy with a great background coaching like Mike Rice? What has he brought to this program?
Mike brought a lot of things to the program. The knowledge is I don't even talk about that. I think that's a take given there, but his enthusiasm, his passion, he helped me out tremendously, taking a lot of load off of me, being an administrator at school and wearing a lot of different hats. And a lot of times he enabled me, as well as all the assistants, that was with us for me to be able to run the school and do different things, and know that we were in great hands. And it was tremendous. I learned a lot from him, and the kids learned a lot from him. And I think he's going to help them with their transition to college that much easier next year.
Jordan, someone need to score some buckets in the fourth quarter when things got close. You turned out to be that guy. What did you do when things got close, and how did you guys make sure they never got the lead back?
Well, I just did what my team needed me to do, whether it was scoring or passing. But at the end of the game, I guess it was definitely scoring today. Like Coach says, when things get tough, don't blink, and that's exactly what we did. And I think I did that well by putting the ball in the basket, and my team needed it.
What did they do defensively? They didn't stop it, but they slowed you guys down at points throughout the game, especially early. What was their defensive game plan?
I think it was more us beating ourselves and them beating us, just like every other tough, close game in the beginning. I feel like that's what we do a lot, but towards the end, I feel like we definitely got out of our own way, and that's exactly why we built the lead so much towards the end.
But to give them credit also too, they did a tremendous job. They guarded situations very well. We ran a timeout and ran was playing from them. That's a double screen, and they guarded that to perfection. It's not something we run all the time, or whatever. And so Kevin does a tremendous job with his team, and you can see it. And the reason why we're 29-1 coming into this game. They're always well coached, and you're always learning and playing them. So it's a credit to them. In part with some of us, also, but they did a tremendous job of moving to the floor.
Chris, you won 5 of these with Kevin. What's it like for you to win one first time as a head coach and first time at the Patrick School? It's kind of like a new era for the school, right?
Absolutely. It's great to have one under the brand of the Patrick School. For me, I don't take anything for granted. I don't take the kids for granted. I don't take this for granted, but I'm just more happy for everyone else than I'm just elated for the kids and everyone.
Chris, your bench did a great job of scoring. Obviously, Vladimir and Alamir off the bench. Talking about their play. Well,
Valdir's been like that for us. He comes off. He's like the microwave. He comes out there. He gives you those quick, simple plays. And again, credit to Don Bosco and to Kevin. They adjusted to him and switched off, put a bigger kid on him that body a little bit more and made it a little more difficult for him. And Al, had a good run in the tournament champions, coming off and giving us good minutes, handling the basketball, knocking down shots, and defending. And he had an up and down year, but I thought he finished the year tremendous. He was tremendous for us down the stretch.
Jameer Marcus, Coach, you guys have been here from the beginning to end your high school journeys with this trophy. What does this mean for both of you?
It's just it's an amazing thing. Me and Mark being in the first year at the Patrick School in 8th grade, watching the high school team play hard, truly show the tradition of the Patrick School. For us to be here since it started, beginning on our way out, just amazing.
Chris, you graduated Bryce Aiken. A lot of people said he was probably the top point guard in the state of New Jersey. A guy like Jordan Walker and even Jameer House and Mark McClary, how well have they done kind of filling in that slot this year? Because again, you did get a lot of your underclassmen back, and those three again, how impressed were you by them all season?
Oh, they've been tremendous for us. I mean, one of the things we talk to our guys about is that they have a responsibility to themselves, but to understand that in our school we go from grade 6 to 12. And we have a lot of young, very good players in our school, and that every time they're on the floor, whether it's in a game or practice or whatever, pick up ball or whatever, they have a responsibility to each other to get each other better and understand that they're role models at all times. And Bryce did a tremendous job with that, and these guys did a fabulous job this year. I've always said that to the young guys, if you are unsure what to do, follow Jameer Morris. If you're not doing it, don't do it.
And what's the thing you're going to miss the most about these? I guess you could say 6 or 7 seniors. How many seniors exactly do you have? Seven. And what will you miss the most about all of them?
I guess, I would say they approach the game for us professionally. I mean, Jameer Marks, I call them perfect guys. They don't miss practice, they don't miss workouts, they're always on time. And, I never worry about effort at our school, because one of the things I've told kids when they come to us is that I don't coach effort. I'm never going to coach effort. And our guys, that's never an issue for us, and I'm very, very happy about that. So I miss that, that they've always given me 100% on off the floor.
Marcus, what does this mean to you?
This is an unbelievable experience. I'm truly honored to say I played here. I've been in my squad 5 years, and I want to thank coach and thank everybody that's been around that supported us, because they don't want to see us win. I've been saying this from day one. Every practice, every game, play hard, and then a good outcome is going to happen.
What about you, Nick? I mean, you guys have been saying from the beginning of the year the goal was TOC or bust. Now you got it. How does it feel?
It feels like it's unreal. I can't even describe it.
Nick, I was in this room 2 years ago, and I asked Isaiah Briscoe the same question after he won the TOC finals. Well, what's the thing you're most looking forward to about the next stage of your life, becoming a Kentucky Wildcat? I know first you got to worry about being a McDonald All-American, but what's the most important thing that you're looking forward to in the next chapter of your life?
Right now, I'm really trying to focus. I'm not trying to focus on this moment right now. I won't be taking this moment back. So whatever me and my team is doing, just gonna celebrate.
Don't forget to get in trouble.
Yeah, you won't get in trouble.
Marcus, you hit jumpers in the third quarter, and they quickly got you transition after that. You didn't score in the first quarter. How big was it for you, and how big do you think your team, in seeing you get unleashed a little bit?
That was real good, because I was missing some defensive assignments in the first half, and I was just like you said, I didn't score, so that gave my team confidence and also me confidence going the second half, and then helped.
Jameer, your guys' senior leadership, how big was that today in a game where you guys had some double-digit leads, you lost those leads, they tightened it up, 4-point game, 4 minutes to play. As far as you guys not losing your composure.
I just go back to what I always say. We have a senior-leading team. We've been through the wars of anything could possibly go through. So having a bunch of seniors on this team, we knew we were going to stick together and figure out a way. And we were able to do that and come out with the TOC.
Hey, Jordan, talk about the matchup you had today with Chris Paul, because it was kind of like an unlikely scoring performance by Chris. How'd you manage to adjust to him?
Well, I didn't really come into the game looking at it as a matchup.
No, because I know you were looking at probably the Ron Harper type matchup, right?
No, I wasn't looking at a matchup at all.
Oh,
when
okay.
I come into games, I just want to win. I don't really look at matchups. I don't look at trying to go at somebody. I just try to win.
I didn't know that. I thought you look at that.
But playing against him, he's a very skilled kid, and he plays really, really hard. We did things differently in the second half, and stopped and tried a little bit more, but I didn't try to come in the game as a matchup. Not really.
And Bull, talk about what this means. I know Coach Chris mentioned this in the beginning. What does this mean for you and for Boy? Again, because there's always a lot of great international players that come to this school. What does it mean to be able to win a TOC finals and continue into your next life when you and Boy attend Tulane next season?
It's a great accomplishment. Me and Boy and the team too, we came a long way, and
Yeah, boy. Like, got it.
And what did you two learn when you came to the Patrick School?
We learned a lot. I've grown personally as a player, my favorite quarter, and I said my favorite quarter. Thanks to this big guy right here. Going to the next level, I think it's going to be easy for us. Us definitely.
Yes, sir.
Jordan, can we grab you for a second, please?
I got the tag.
All right. Are we on? Dots? Are we on? Turn on.
So for another edition of the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network, Jacob Schwartz, joined once again for the second time in less than 24 hours by Jordan Walker. He is the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network's most valuable player and the TOC Finals MVP. Congratulations, my friend. 17 points en route to another TOC championship, but you're first as a member of the Patrick School. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling tremendous. Words can't describe how I'm feeling, and I'm really, truly blessed to be in a team with these many players and have coaches like this who push me throughout the whole 2 years I've been here, and I feel really honored to play on this team.
Well, I always enjoy watching this team play because you said this yourself. 1 out of 10 players can score and take control on any given night. Tonight it was you.
Yeah.
Although I will say the other thing belonged to another unknown player, Valdir Manuel. How big was he down the stretch?
Oh, I've been saying that since the beginning. Valdir Manuel has been our X factor.
Yes.
Not many people knew who he was before coming in here, but I guarantee by the end of this year, everybody gonna know his name.
Well, he lives in my area actually during the off season. In Coatesville, so I have seen him actually out in my way. What will he bring next season for your school?
I think Valdir Manuel can bring everything, from whether it's passing to scoring to making jump shots to getting rebounds to blocking shots. I think Valdir Manuel is probably one of the most all-around players I've ever played with.
What did you learn from co-coaches like Mike Rice and Chris Chavanis?
Well, from Mike Rice, I learned a lot. He taught me how to be a pure point guard, not just a scoring point guard or a point guard who just can put the ball in the basket. And Coach Chavanis taught me more than just basketball. He taught me how to be a man. He taught me how to be the best person I can be on and off the court, and I can't thank anybody enough for that. And I feel like he's been the greatest coach I've ever had in my entire life.
I'd like to try to get Mike on this show, but we'd have to edit out we'd have to censor pretty much everything he says because he's that type of a person. But let's talk about what's next in the life of Jordan Walker. Seton Hall, Oklahoma State, just to name a few. When are you planning to make your decision? I'm not going to ask what date, but when are you planning to decide?
I'm not positive what I'm going to do.
You're not, yes.
I'm really I'm not even thinking about that. I'm trying to go celebrate with my team.
You want to come to Philadelphia, maybe play for Temple? Fran Dunphy was actually here tonight.
I seen him in the stand.
So maybe he might consider actually having, because we could use you in Philadelphia.
Hey, you never know.
Jordan Walker, thank you so much for being here, and hopefully, again, we will talk to you very soon. Jordan Walker again on another edition of the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network. Again, another TOC and a new era underway at the Patrick School. 69-55, they knock off Don Bosco Prep. We got to try to get, who else do we need to get? Back here again at the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network, and we're back here again at the Tournament of Champion Finals at the Sun National Bank Center here in Trenton, New Jersey. And finally, I'm pleased to have one of my favorite people I've traveled up and down the roads with, co-coach Mike Rice. Congratulations, TOC or bust. Well, you've already gotten the job done. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It's really an honor, not necessarily the TOC or any awards I've ever to be interviewed by one of the best, The Voice. I mean, it's truly a privilege. Now, I feel like my coaching career is complete.
Oh, no.
But anything you need to know.
Well, I was going to say, because we go back so far, what does this feeling mean? For what it's worth, you've come a long way, again, from your coaching rankings now to the high school. What do you feel like these kids have learned from you? I know that.
I think I've learned more this year than they've learned from me. They're an incredible bunch. They consume everything. And it's rare in this day and age that you have a group that's so relentless about developing, about learning. And so it was a fun group. It was a perfect group for me and Chris and the coaches to be a part of. And but it was. These guys are. This is just the kind of the tip of success for these individuals. They're all going to go and do great things in the next level.
Yeah, you've got 7 of those who are leaving next year. You still get a good group of players, and I know there'll be a good group of kids that are going to walk their way in the door. Adam Zagoria of SNY pretty much said it best. After the St. Patrick's closing its doors down, does it kind of seem like it's a new era for the Patrick School, now state championship and TOC?
It does. It's St. Patrick's, the name, the brand, and what Kevin and Chris did for that. But there's a new chapter. It's a new book. It's not even a chapter. It's a new book.
Absolutely.
And for what Chris did to keep this thing alive, it's amazing. And nobody, when I first heard and was talking to some guys in and around New Jersey grassroots basketball, it's impossible. He can't do what just happened tonight. Everybody had doubted him, and for him to do that and me to be a part of it is something special.
Yeah. What are you doing? Tell everybody what you're doing these days, because we see you a lot on the basketball circuit.
A lot on the basketball circuit. I've got.
You've got a lot of jobs.
I've got a lot of jobs. I've got AU coaching with Rio. I got the Patrick School. I've got my sure shot younger teams. I got hoop groups. So I do a lot. In my free time, spare time, I just watch tapes of you and just wonder how you're not on national television right now. It's amazing. My wife says, Mike, come to bed. The voice is going to be there tomorrow, but I just can't get enough of the voice.
You know what, Ed, we're going to let you celebrate. Mike Rice, thank you so much for being here on the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network. You know, we always love seeing you, and we will catch up with you very soon.
Thanks, voice. It was an honor.
Mike Rice again on another edition of the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network. Again, TOC Championship. And let's try to see if we can bring in Chris Chavanes. Can we get Chris Chavanes to come? Let's talk to another one of my favorite people in the world, as again, it does not end. The of coaches, Chris Chavanes. Congratulations to you. And again, as mentioned, we said it ourselves, there's a new chapter in Patrick's School, whether it's St. Patrick's, whether it's the Patrick School, but now the era, it seems like, is underway. How are you feeling?
I feel great.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you. But I'm happy for everyone, our entire Patrick School community, faculty, students, players, parents, everyone, and our alumni who comes in and work, challenges and practices, scout teams, and the alumni who, whether it's through Facebook or coming all the way down here to support us, whatever. There's a lot of people that's been involved in this process, and I'm very, very happy.
I'm one of those people that supports you.
Absolutely.
You know that, right?
Absolutely. For many, many years. We go way back.
Well, yes, we do. Absolutely. And talk about the overall performance tonight. I mean, Jordan Walker really stepped up in a big way. And Jordan just spoke with us moments ago saying that 1 through 10, anybody can step up on this team. He was one of those people tonight. It just kind of seemed like the last 2 days Nick Richards was not at the best, although he did drop 26 yesterday. But tonight, a little bit of a different night. So who really needed to get the call for you?
Well, when you have the team with the depth that we have, the beauty of it is if Nick is, and Nick goes through a lot because he does get banged 99 and it does take a toll on you. But the beauty of having a deep team that we have is that if Jordan had a slow start or Nick has a slow start, you can come off the bench with another guy and another guy and another guy. And Al Dawes was tremendous in giving us quality minutes in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jordan was a senior down the stretch and making big plays. And Boy Coca and Valdir Emmanuel helped Nick out quite a bit. With that on both ends of the floor. So we don't really miss too much of a beat. When Nick's has his presence on the floor, obviously he takes it a whole nother level. But again, on those nights that that they're doing a good job on him, the other guys are huge to step in and fill those roles.
Well, you finish as number 6, at least for the time being. When the new rankings out, you were the number 6 team. Talk about the new number 22 team in the country, Don Bosco Prep. And I know you have a great relationship with Kevin DeVario. Could you even possibly describe what an effort that team put tonight? And there's a lot of good talent that's coming back. I know they lose one player big time. They lose a lot of good players. Chris Paul had a big night tonight, and Charlie Bagan and Manly Dorme. I mean, your thoughts on what an incredible season they had. This is a team that, again, coming into tonight, had a 21-game winning streak.
Any team that Kevin coaches, you're going to go in for a dogfight. And I was not surprised that we were in for a dogfight tonight. I've been telling our kids this.
Really?
No. As a matter of fact, with all due respect for Lyndon, who like, oh my God, we faced them so many times.
Yes, you have.
And they're anytime you go in there, you're going to be in for a dogfight with them. But I told our kids from day one that game is going to be it could be either opponent. So we prepared as much for Linden and for Don Bosco and Westside and Teaneck, all 4 teams. But we did not think that it was automatic we would be playing Linden in the stretch.
Coming up, I guess, last question soon. Well, your season is now done. What is, I guess, the outlook for the next group of Patrick School players?
Well, we have some very good young players returning, and some very good young players in the freshman class coming in, and our JV team is tremendous. So, most people think that we're going to drop off. The challenge will be for those guys that we won't. I don't think we will.
I know that every time you're coaching, I know that there's always great talent that comes into this school.
Thank you, and we got talent. We have a lot of.
They have great coaching, by the way.
Appreciate it.
And I've said this to you ever since the day we met. I've always told people what an incredible coach that you were. Again, you've come a long way. Everybody's come a long way from St. Patrick's to the Patrick School. Kyrie Irving, Dexter Strickland, Al Harrington. I could go on with names, but it would just take up our entire time. What does this mean now that the new era is underway for the Patrick School?
It's been an amazing run, but it's amazing. It's great for the school in so many ways. You can't explain it. It's just tremendous. It really is.
I should leave Roselle Catholic for the Patrick School, shouldn't I, to be your next announcer? Am I right? Chris Chavatis, thank you so much. Chris Chavatis, thank you so much for joining us here. Congratulations. A pleasure as always to see you again, and we will definitely see you down the road.
Thank you.
Chris Chavatis, Mike Rice, Jordan Walker, our guests here today on the It's All About Sports Broadcast Network. We also want to thank again our guests from Franklin, as Franklin making history with the 2017 Tournament of Champions as they knock off Manasquan in the women's earlier tonight. Congratulations go out to co-coaches Mike Rice and Chris Chavatis. Patrick School is a champion, 69-55. The new era is underway in Elizabeth at the Patrick School. So for all of us again here at the It's All About Sports Broadcasting Network, this is Jacob Schwartz saying so long from the Sun National Bank Center in Trenton, New Jersey. Patrick School wins the TOC Finals in men's, and Franklin wins in women's. We'll see you down the road. Good night, everybody.
Do you need coverage? Not that kind of coverage. More like this kind of coverage. If you need coverage, call 215-559-7300. National Video Productions has you covered. Need a promo? Hosting a live event? Celebrating a special occasion? The National Video Productions has you covered. No, not that kind of covered. More like this kind of covered. And this kind of covered. Get live coverage and live stream that live event. If you need coverage, call 215-559-7300. National Video Productions has you covered. Weddings, corporate events, sporting events, graduations, grand opening, concerts, car shows, fundraisers, dance recitals, and more. If you need coverage, call 215-559-7300. National Video Productions has you covered.